These are other official members of the club from various, back to where we're in, and then Beskar, which is our Central Texas chapter here in Texas. Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club is an international costuming group that's focused mainly on charity. We are licensed by Lucasfilm. We work hand in hand with 501st, Rebel Legion, stuff like that. Main charity groups that we end up partnering with is Make-A-Wish group through that. Mandalorian Mercs are then also kind of unique in the aspect that we have our own internal charity, the Little Warrior Fund, which is essentially kind of our version of a spin of toys for tots and stuff like that. So we work on charity aspects for that. Yeah. So I'm Thomas. I'll just move that line so we can introduce Nathan.
I'm not Tony Stark. I'm
Anna.
And then you're an officer, right? In Beskar?
Yes, Rukumber, which is the historian.
And then another officer.
I'm Muraan's Lord, which is commercial finances.
And I'm the resource leash. That's basically, it's Mandalorian for first sergeant. Basically, I'm the armor sergeant. And my job to help y'all get your kids from, I got this cool idea to that.
So, what this panel is essentially trying to answer questions of what you have on what it takes to become a member, build armor, all kinds of fun stuff like that, right? So for the Mandalorian Mercs Costume Club, we have our own CRLs, or Costume Requirement List, or I forget what else it can stand for. There's like 4 different acronyms it could be. But essentially, it is a list of points that tells you, hey, these are the requirements that we have for membership in our club. There's certain standards that the costume has to meet to pass that. So we have multiple different eras in Star Wars that you can apply for. Mandalorians are actually seen throughout all of Star Wars media, as you can now tell from the popularity of the newest TV show. We're kind of everywhere now. But we have the main ones. We have our Crusader, which is all like Star Wars: The Old Republic. If you've played the MMO or are familiar with that. We have CRLs that specifically go over early Crusaders, which is more like bone, leather, aesthetics and stuff like that. Moving into like Neo Crusaders from the classic Knights of the Old Republic game, and then Star Wars: The Old Republic. We have all the crazy armor combos that they've sent in that too that you could also build. We got Tech Hunter is what the CRL that we have is called on it. Then we have our modern version, so that's typically Boba Fett, Jango Fett. Anna is actually wearing our version of modern. You can kind of see it's more Boba Jango-esque. Then we also have Legacy, which is part of that, which is the whole Legacy comic series that was like Kane Skywalker. Forget it came out in like early 2000s or something like that.
John Orlander comics, first comics.
So it's more of a similar Fett style, but it's all like kind of segmented together, overlapping, more of a carapace style. And then the rest of the armor is then typically like modern, so it's like gauntlet, shoulders, stuff like that. You can do various levels of overlapping and stuff like that. And then we have most of the next CR that we have is covert, it's post-imperial, which is essentially everything that we see in the Mandalorian forward. So I have the post-imperial armor. It's essentially what we see the Death Watch wearing mostly, or you see Mando wearing, or any of the covert Mandos. That one has multiple different flavors to it. You have covert, which is essentially like what we see Din wearing in the first episode, right? With kind of like beat up, mismatched armor. We then have mercenary, which is what we see Bo-Katan's armor and like the fleet mercenaries that they have. It's a little bit more uniform, more crisp. They're a little bit more put together. They haven't been scavenging armor, from wherever while hiding and not showing their faces. And then we have the survivors. So it's the people who still lived on Mandalore. So that one then allows you to be a little bit more like Mad Max, Fallout, scrounging for whatever armor you can find. So it's a couple different flavors and stuff that you can do with that era as well. And then we also do canon costumes. So if you're interested in doing like Boba Fett, Jango Fett, any of the named face characters, we also then have CRLs and stuff for that. And ours on that can be, we work a lot with the 501st. We're very similar on that, but because our focus is more mainly on the Mandalorians themselves, our CRLs then vary once you get to like kind of higher levels. We have a little bit different, more accurate stuff, in my opinion at least, of what some of the CRLs and stuff can be. But we have, resources for canon kits as well. Yeah, so how do we build the armor? There are multiple different ways that you can build the armor, multiple different materials that the Mercs approve. We have Sintra, which Anna's actually wearing right now. What Sintra is it's a foam board. Yeah, so this is typically the first step that you get. You buy it in big old sheets. It ends up being flat. You cut out the shape that you're looking for the armor. Typically we have templates, and we have all these resources on our website, MandalorianMercs.com. But we have a whole lot of resources and stuff. You get templates to find it. So you get your template, you print it out, you put it on a sheet of Sintra, you trace it out there, you cut it out using a Dremel. Dremel tools are 90% of what we use for a lot of this. If you get it thin enough, I've seen people cut it with scissors, seen it with utility knives, heat knives, stuff like that. It all depends on what you have. There's multiple different ways to do it. Yeah, bandsaw, yeah, exactly. It's a little scroll saw or whatever. So you take it flat and then you use just a heat gun to shape it then into the shape that you're looking for, right? So now we have a curved piece, in this example is a shoulder belt. But you just take some heat the back of it, bend it over a piece of PVC pipe, bend it over a shoulder, all depends. If you're bending it over someone's shoulder, be careful, don't burn them, it gets hot. Safety first in a lot of these things. All of these things mostly. Let me preface that. So once it's folded and essentially shaped for what you need it, then you can go in and do paint applications. So in this example, we have black spray paint is the secondary coat. So there's a silver, so you see the scrapes and stuff on it. The way that's applied is we hit it with a silver base coat, and then you can mark off with like masking fluid, liquid latex, mustard, toothpaste, just some sort of medium that you can then mark off different shapes with, and then you spray paint over that. Once it's all dry, then you clean it off. This is typically the end result that you get. All right, so there's multiple different ways of doing that. I actually did that a lot on the armor that I'm currently wearing. Might not be able to see very easily from a distance, but it's got multiple different levels of green and stuff on it. I use mustard and a sponge to get a stippling effect essentially over it. Spray paint over it, cleaned it off, and then it gave it a stippling effect. So there's a bunch of different ways you can play around with that. And then essentially, you just keep on doing that, and then you can end up with the final product. That's the Sintra method. If you want to be really hardcore, then you go metal. This is all metal. I don't know what gauge is that.
It is what gauge they use in house framing.
Oh, house framing.
So it's a metal building furniture, all steel.
So metal is a medium that we can use. I had metal at one point. It was the hood of a Honda Accord that I cut parts out of. So metal can be kind of whatever you want it to. Some people like working with it more if it's a medium that you're more familiar with. There's definitely ways to use it. I cut mine out with a jigsaw. How did you cut yours out?
Cutting wood on a grinder.
Okay, so multiple different ways you can try to cut that out. Metal's just a little bit harder to cut. And then probably the method that you're going to see majority of the time now is going to be 3D printing. It is taken off and it allows you to do a whole lot of cool things. Pretty much the entire kit, besides my jetpack, is all 3D printed on this one. So when it comes to 3D printing, there becomes a quality issue when it looks towards when we're looking towards costume approval and stuff. The main thing that we're looking for on 3D prints is that you have sanded all of the visible print lines off of the kit. Because no matter how much you think it looks like turned metal, it doesn't. It's essentially when you 3D print, it's putting down layer lines, right? So it's, as it builds up, and you can kind of see on some of these. Easier, yeah. So as you kind of look and see in the different light, you can see how there's layer lines, right? So The main thing you want to do is you want to try to hide those. Now, how do you do that? There's a bunch of different methods and stuff that you can see. It's actually a lot easier to see on that one. See the layer lines and the shifts and stuff on it. So how do you hide those? Well, you need to have some sort of filler product, filler primer. UV resin is another one that people like to use. That's the UV resin one? All right. So this UV resin is on this, which is this resin from a different type of printing, resin printing. All it does is it reacts to ultraviolet light. So essentially you put it in sunlight and it hardens, right? So the thought process is you cover this with your UV resin, you use a black light or set it out in the sun, just not too long because it heats up and can cause the print to warp. And what that does is it allows it to give you a clean surface that kind of fills in all of those gaps and all the prints and stuff like that.
Cleanish.
Yeah, cleanish surface, right? Yeah. And then sand it down till it's smooth, paint it, and move forward. And it's kind of a process, multi-step process, because a lot of it's sand. Oh no, I missed a spot. Fill it some more. Sand, and it's still there. Sand, and keep rinsing and repeat until it gets smooth. Another process on that one that I use personally is just using filler primer and then a guide coat, similar to what they do with automotive body paint. You just put a thick coat of filler primer on it, like really, really, really thick. So it just coats everything, fills in all your gaps, and then you use another coat of paint and just kind of lightly mist it over that. And then you sand that light misted coat off until you're back down to your base gray layer. And then you can check and see if you still have print lines. And a lot of the times that'll end up being a little bit faster. It's just a different way, very similar to the way that the UV resin method works. So there's a bunch of different methods and stuff on how to finish and fill 3D prints. We have a whole lot of resources and stuff for that too.
By the time you're done filling the 3D prints, your forearms will be huge and your language will be bad. It does work well whenever you get it, when you get it done. It's good. And you can it's a lot easier for the more complex shapes with the 3D printer than it is. This is a Centra that he was talking about, done into a chest plate, and that's a lot of work and a lot of, so it's give or take. It's whether you want to sand or shade.
Pick your poison.
Yes.
But yeah, so just to show this one, Centro can go into complex shapes, but if you look at the back, you can see that it takes a lot of work to kind of get it into some of those complex concave shapes. What Centra is it's essentially two kind of thin layers of an ABS plastic with a foam core middle. So when you try to heat that up, if you heat it up too much, that foam core middle will then just kind of disintegrate and melt on you, and then it kind of ruins the part. So there's only so many ways that you can heat it and shape it, and it's got to be kind of a gentle process whenever you're doing it. If you were trying to shape that without having to cut it and glue it, like on this example, you would have to dart this corner and then very gently ease this over and then do some filling techniques or whatever on to hide the seams on the side. It's doable. My wife's kit, I did something very similar to this, and it's doable. It isn't necessarily any faster than 3D printing, but for like complex curves like the shoulder and stuff like that, you're not gonna really be able to get a very good curve unless you put a whole lot of work in it in Centra than just being, clicking 3 buttons and getting it printed. One's a lot easier than the other than sometimes.
The best are a combination because
Yes.
3D printing does great in the PI chest plates and whatnot. Back plates, I find anyway, are better done with Centra, and at least in our clan, we're fortunate we've got the queen of the complex curves of Centra that helps with all the back plates. She's back there hiding in the back. But the combination can be done and really work well. So it's good to know both mediums, at least dip your toe in. All right.
So, do you all have any Please ask us anything.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, what else? Yes.
Do you allow
So EVA foam is not an acceptable material for us as the full armor set. It's one of those where if you work with EVA foam, you'll find that Sintra is very, very similar. It's a little bit easier too because it'll keep its shape, right? So EVA foam, you gotta go in and kind of glue it or run wire through it to make it keep its shape. Sintra works in the same kind of principle because it has that foam core to it. It's just got some extra rigidity with the plastic, but it'll keep its shape and stuff like that. And when I say Sintra, it's like a
PVC board.
yeah, it's a PVC board, right? There's certain places, like I know Home Depot sells like expanded foam, like tiles that are supposed to go in the ceiling that are solid plastic. You can find it locally there. There's different plastic places that sell it. You can buy it on Amazon now, actually, as well. So it's one of those that you can kind of source it in similar areas that you can source EVA foam. But yeah, we don't accept EVA foam just for the simple fact that it's actually harder to finish EVA foam than it is to finish Sintra. Yeah, you're welcome.
And one method we forgot to mention, so you just brought up, was vacuum forming.
Oh,
That is acceptable as well. Or my 501st, my TK's in here, same principle. Hot plastic, buck, bring it down, suck it up, and you've got your arms. I don't have that table yet.
I got a small one. It is pretty cool.
I've got a tiny one, but I'll eventually someday I'll take a table, but if you have access to such, that's awesome. We actually have one of the dealers, the vendors that go through our forums that has started making helmets with the vacuum forming, and they're pretty incredible.
What about resin casting? Like slush casting?
Oh, for buckets, absolutely, yes. Yeah, hers, mine, his, you're not.
No, I have the Black Series. That's the Black Series on it.
Resin casting is it's my favorite method, thank you. And the new Black Series helmets that come out these days, with some minor modifications, they can be made approvable and look fantastic. Other than that, the only helmet that was allowed that was a made helmet was the pre-96 Dawn Post Boba Fett, and the
If you have one of those, please don't paint it for the club.
oh yeah, the two-piece jacket fit, but you gotta have a very small head for that.
Oh yeah, the Ruby Soupies. Yeah.
And no, my 96 Dawn Post is not a grab bucket. Yes.
So I've got a question about resin casting. I don't know much about that compared to the other ones. Look at very specific helmet. It's approved on the CR list, but if I was to resin cast that, I could sort of skip all the sanding.
No.
There's no getting away from sanding. I'm sure every step. Even if you buy a brand new bucket, there's still you're gonna have some bubbles, you're gonna have some thing that needs to be sanded down.
Yeah.
There will be a lot less than if you 3D print one, but it will still be there.
And so I've been told by a lot of people, and a lot of questions about printing. I've been told printing in ABS, ASA, or PETG is the way to go. Basically, don't print PLA and just don't for your car.
Yes. So all of those are stronger. The one thing I will say about ABS and the other one, not PETG.
ASA.
Yeah, ASA. Those two, if you do not have an enclosed-in printer, they do off-gas. So you really need kind of an enclosed printer to do that. You also need that to be able to get to the temperatures as those are required. But ABS is one of, like, for vacuum forming and stuff like that. That's the main material that they use for vacuum forming. Like all your car vehicle parts and stuff like that, it's made of various ABS. So it's got a whole lot of strength to it, but there is that kind of chemical reaction to it. So if you're printing an ABS, just know that. PETG is what I typically print most of my stuff in. It's very heat resistant. But again, it's Texas summers with cars. Just don't leave your kit in it. Like even resin will warp in the heat on it. So it's one of those where just kind of keep that in mind if you got the costume.
So even the more for the car?
Yeah, no, it gets hot enough. Oh, 100%.
Well, it'll in summertime it'll hit 160 in your car.
Very.
So yeah, people melt in that. So.
There was a picture going around First Fate a few years ago. It was one of our members, one of our
Tyler.
unofficial members.
Oh, yeah.
Left his kit in the car, and the helmet is literally like a flat pancake.
And it was a
It was a resin. Yeah, it was a resin helmet. Yeah, it
Yeah.
got hot enough to melt the resin.
Do you need any pleasure to run PET? I haven't gotten it. Just an answer has some people have heard you do shit for chamber heating.
For PETG, no. I have a bamboo P1P with none of the chamber or anything like that. I print PETG just.
Anybody else? Come on. Work.
Yes.
So you mentioned your CRLs. What
Yes.
would the requirements or rules be for integrating weapons into the auto system? Like, I'm assuming it's a flamethrower right there, or the knee projectile launchers you see in season 3 of Mandalorian.
So are you talking about like an actual one or fake one?
There's always some.
Auto? Yes, you can do that. A lot of the ones like, because I mean, you're just working. That's got like the dart launcher and the keypad and stuff like that integrated into it. You know, flamethrowers and stuff like that. Like this one's 3D printed just off of the model. I want to say that this is actually the Imperial Commando gauntlets we see in season 3. Based off of Macquarie concepts.
We don't, it's not that we allow it, it's we encourage it. Weapons are part of your religion.
Yeah, we are a custom club, which is why you can see all of us in various different colors of the rainbow. Whenever you see a group of us together, you can have weapon mounted. You can go like more of a cannon style gauntlet, or you can do the different add-ons like you see there, like Anna has on hers with different blasters and stuff like that. Knees, same thing. The issue that you're going to run into with knees, though, is when you walk. Depending on how much weapons you have on your knees, you might not have as many when you're done getting to your destination. So there's a practicality aspect to it, but yeah, you can technically do as much as you want.
It did bring up a good point though about projectiles, because there is always one.
Oh yeah.
Being a club for kids, because Star Wars is for kids, right? We don't allow any projectile or spring-loaded weapons just for safety reasons and liability reasons, because there's always a kid that's going to run up to you, and you don't want to have a gauntlet that has a spring-loaded blade hit them in the face.
And do not bring your airsoft and tell me because there's no BBs in it, it is inoperable. It's not, and all it takes is, one accident and something of that nature. Even if you just poke a hole in mom's coffee cup and you miss the kid, it's still, it will look bad, and we don't want to do anything to make the mouse or Lucasfilm mad. So have the coolest weapons, have as many as you can carry, have all of them you can carry, just none that actually shoot or project or flamethrow, and these are all questions that
These are all questions and issues that have come up, so.
Little things?
Oh, no, yeah, trust me. Unless you have a certain weapons license, you are not allowed to own a flamethrower in the state of Texas. And even if you are, we don't allow it in the club.
So who here is actually really looking at this, have been to the forums, given it some thought? Okay, we've got a few, okay, come on. So this is a great time. Throw any questions at us you can.
So, like on the 3D printing,
Yes.
the sanding, the line open flatnesses,
Yes.
I got that.
Sure.
With that emblem,
Yes.
how do you get in those nooks and crannies?
Sanding sticks. So for like modeling and stuff like that, they've been at this for a while with all the different sanding and the resin stuff. So Hobby Lobby, I know for a fact, they're called sanding sticks. They look like toothpicks that have a grit to them. So you can kind of get in there and get some of the stuff. But a lot of what you'll find, like especially on that, that's just the raw 3D print, right? So if you're covering it with a UV resin, or if you're covering it with filler, enough layers of filler primer and stuff like that, once you get just a little bit of light sanding and stuff over that, it'll essentially take care of and hide the rest of the lines and stuff. That makes sense.
And another good way, if you've got the toys or know somebody that has the toys, forget the emblem, do this with your filament printer.
Yeah.
And then print this up, or have somebody print this up on resin,
Yeah, resin.
Okay.
and then just glue it on, and
Yeah.
that makes it a lot.
So
simpler.
the mythos sculpt that I have on that is resin printed
Okay.
that I put then on top of the 3D.
Okay.
So yeah, resin printing allows for a lot more detail, which is why you see it used for a lot of like minis and stuff like that. It's higher resolution on the print. So if you can find stuff like that, or if you, I know locally in the plant we have a whole bunch of people that do resin printing and stuff like that. So if you have a file or a model or something, most of the time we can work with you to get you where you want to go on.
And I can speak for our clan, and I know their clan, people love to help you. If you show up at an armor party or your first armor party or whatever, come, learn, ask questions. We love talking about our geeky stuff. It's just,
We want to help you look cool.
yeah. And my suggestion, and one of our members did this, I think it's wonderful. Go to the forums, learn our forums, but look at the forums, use your Google food, get on there, look at Mandalorian merch, pick out pictures of things you like, and then you can make an amalgamation of what it is you want yours to be. Come to us and we can say, yeah, that will work, or if there's an issue with it, like you got the wrong era helmet, you want to do a Crusader helmet in a modern kit, which happens sometimes. We can kind of, okay, you can't really do this, but you can either adjust this or adjust this, and that'll make it close. We'll work with you. Our whole goal is to get you approved. And I know at the first of the year, Kelsey and I talked when we took office. She's our boss. She's the owner of it.
She's sitting in the back judging us all right now.
Yes.
I'm taking photos.
But we picked a number that we were hoping to get to in club membership. And if we hit it, which we may very well, I want to exceed it. So come on, get on the forums, learn the forums. They're easy. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, as far as armor parties and getting started with things, what's your approach as far as how much I can do myself before I talk to you versus when I should start talking to you?
No.
So before we answer that, we do things called armor parties, where everybody has somebody hosts at their garage or shop or something. The clan comes together and helps people build kits, helps people take pictures, like something like this, the legacy kit. It's really hard to get the strapping right on these, so having someone like help you with that, watch as you put it on and say, oh, that's great. So you don't have to awkwardly try to look in a mirror in your bathroom and figure out what's going on, things like that. So often people have spare kit items. Often people have spare kit items, like if you're missing a part, and someone might say, oh, I have an extra one of these. So armor parties are that, where you meet together and just everybody kind of builds. So with that.
Yeah, to answer your question, it depends. It's great to do some work on your own, but come with the understanding that if something is messed up, you may have to redo it. I've seen people show up with almost completed kits that nothing was workable. And we've got one guy in our club that is, he's a lab accident away from being a super villain. I think he's shown up at one armor party. He's got 3 working on 4 approved kits, and they are beautiful. So, it depends on your level, and the main thing I want to hammer into you, if you're wanting to build on your own, our forums are really good at forums. There's tons of information. Search around, familiarize yourself with them, and you can find just oodles of information.
We're here to help you, and we'll give you however much help that you want. So if you want to, build it all on your own, and then just run it past us and be like, oh yeah, no, that's good, we can do that. If you want to come out and meet with us and hang out with us and be like, build it from the ground up, we can do that too. We can do kind of any combination of that. But it's just one of those, we have a certain type of standard that we're trying to meet. That's our only bar, to try to get over for membership in the club. So it's like, that's just kind of the general goal that we're all going towards. So all of us have been at the point where like, oh man, we think this is really cool. And someone else has been like, yeah, you can't do that. And it sucks. So we all kind of know, we don't try to do it to like, stamp out creativity or anything like that. It's just one of those that we got a list that we got to check off all these boxes on. So keep an open mind on that. But the cool part about the Mercs is that we allow creativity to do kind of whatever you want within our little playground that we have. So
And I speak
for the school box.
yes.
I speak from very much experience. If there is something that you come up with that's really cool, that some of the, what are we at, 5,000-6,000 now?
Oh, for members?
Yeah.
Last I checked, we were 3,500
Okay.
approved. But yeah.
If there's that many that haven't done it, there may be a reason for it. Like 12 millimeter armor being, good.
Yeah, I don't know who would have done that.
Yeah, it could probably be done. You might not want to do it, but yeah, if you start on soft goods, it's probably your safest bet. It's the least fun, but
Unless you like sewing, then it's really fun.
yeah.
Getting your flight suit and vest.
Yeah, like flat fast flight suit, different aspects of that's what we call our soft parts, and then all the hard parts is more.
The pattern builds on forms that you can use.
Yes.
For the stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We have, I believe it's called the Jan Halls of Knowledge, because we have a Mando name for everything. So if you look in there, we have a whole bunch of tutorials and references and stuff like that, in which it's a combination of like, here are the actual patterns, and some of them are videos and showing you like, hey, this is how we did it. So we got a whole kind of reference library in there that, you can go look for. And it's free. All you got to do is like sign up on our forums, and you have instant access. That's it. We're not going to email you or anything, or like call you or anything like that. It's literally just sign up on the forum so you have a username so we can reach out to you if need be
And you
Have at
reach
it.
out to
Have
us.
fun. Yeah, so you can get it's just free resources that we have sitting there on how to make the armor.
But at one of these armor parties, let's say you're coming and you want to do a modern kit, just as an example. We've got enough people that have done enough modern, and even some legacy, that with a modern, we can have your plates cut, shaped, and pretty much ready for you to do some sanding and painting to in a single armor party.
Yeah. We got it down to a science at this point.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, if you have the material, sometimes even if you don't even have the material, some people have some extras or whatever that they donate and stuff like that.
And
So
we're working on maybe, at least in our clan, trying to get a stock of Centra where you show up, oh, I'm ready to go, I don't have Centra. You can pay the clan probably what we spent on it, it's a nonprofit thing, but,
Yep.
and then when you've got your 6, 3, whatever. And the goal is just to get as many geeks in one place in armor and be cool plastic spacemen as possible. It doesn't matter, yeah, go ahead.
So they're not companies that are taking supplies, just
They're-
putting the table. This company supports this nonprofit.
to a point, it all kind of depends on wherever you are locally. I know that we we had, what was it, Allied Plastics, used to give us like a discount for, because people were adult and stuff like that. So there's a way to do it. It just all depends on where you are locally and whatever your region's doing. The way that the works are set up is each region is set up into a clan. So North Texas, using Texas as an example, North Texas is Muraan clan, South Texas is Arquette, Central Texas is in Beskar, and then West Texas is Sick, and then El Paso's Varang. But we don't care about El Paso, it's basically New Mexico. Just kidding, if anyone's from there. But we have 5 clans here in Texas, so it's one of those. They just kind of cover regions, and the way that the reason we break them up like that is then so you can have someone who's kind of local to wherever you are. So you have someone that you can reach out to and like physically meet, and they can help you kind of move along and stuff like that. If you're not from Texas, all the different states have various levels of clans depending on how many people are active in the state. I know Oklahoma is only got 1 clan in it, Ghetto Va. Louisiana only has a single clan. But if you like California, Florida, some of the East Coast clans, they have 5, 3, 4 clans, total throughout. Yes. I think so, right? There's a couple of them where it's like the clan extends across state lines, right? So like prime example is El Paso. Varang is like New Mexico, but then it also has El Paso because none of us are driving out to El Paso for the most part to go to a convention out there. It's a lot closer for the New Mexico clans to get out there. So region kind of dictates where it is, not necessarily the state line. Like a lot of the East, I know the East Coast, like when you get up there, there's a lot of smaller states, like they're a conglomeration of states, not necessarily the single state.
So anybody else?
Yeah, on the forums, yeah, there's like we have a map of like all the different things, yeah, because then we have different regions, because we are an international organization as well. We have clans over in Europe, in Asia, I know we have, I think there's one.
I think we got 2 now.
You might, I don't remember, but Oceania and stuff like that, we got members spread out across the world. So it's split into regions, so you got clans, which are typically your state, local area level, that's part of a regional command, and then we have a club level international command council. So there's kind of a hierarchy to it, but all of it's for just being able to locally get everyone what they need.
Okay, come on, we got a few more minutes. Give me a question.
How often do you go to the complex?
Okay, that's a great question. When we're on our game, we try and do an armor party or a family gathering at least once a month. There are some months where it drags and some months where we kind of do both. Our next, the clans.
September 13th.
Yeah, September 13th is our clan's next armor party. And then I'm sure October, November, those are November or early December, we usually forego an armor party for, we call it Merchgiving or a Life Day celebration or whatever. We get together, feast, have fun, and there will still be, if somebody is right there ready, we will take pre-app photos and app photos or whatever at that time. But it's more of a fellowship, but we have pretty frequent, and I'm guessing y'all do too.
We don't do it quite as often, just because Central Texas is a little more spread out. But we do a lot of armor parties in the spring. Not in the summer because we don't have an air conditioned space. If we did one armor party in August and everybody who attended said never.
We're just not that smart.
More on your soul.
And in Central Texas too, we often do armor parties on request too. So if someone's wanting to work on something, then we'll set them up. Take that.
Yep. And I know for a fact in Miranda, like a lot of the thing, it doesn't necessarily have to be an armor party. It's if you have like, hey, I need this. We have a lot of people that will reach out and be like, hey, do you have a weekend free? Go work, on stuff like this as well. So
My garage students stay pretty busy with Mando, so.
yeah, so it's one of those where it's like, hey, I can't make it to the armor party, but I want to get this done. Reach out to us and we can help you out too.
so we are very family oriented. We are a family, but we also love each other's families. So at armor parties, there'll be kids running around. We do have a kids tour that's very similar to like the Scouts kind of thing, what we've heard before. It's really taken off this year. All they need is a helmet, I believe, and they get monthly tasks that they just have to submit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys, since I go to college,
You're gonna have to yell. I'm
No,
sorry.
she goes to college and bounces between areas. Go on.
Okay.
are you allowed to affiliate with different friends?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm in the process of moving to South Texas, so I'm currently in Muraan, but I'm about to become Marquette. And I actually helped found the Arquette clan when I was down there originally. So, just because you're in a clan or whatever doesn't mean you can't associate with other clans. We're all part of the same organization. It's just an organizational method. So it's one of those we try to pair you with someone whoever you're close to. So if you're bouncing back and forth, do you mind if that's where you're going to college order? Oh, there you go. He's in College Station. So yeah, no, that would be Carter Beskar's territory. He's in College Station. I'm getting ready to move just a little bit further south of College Station than them. So it's one of those where you got people all around you and stuff like that.
Yeah, where's home base? Where do you come home to do your laundry?
Oh, Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
So that's up here in Muraan. So yeah, going back and forth, it's a very common thing. So we all work well together, and it all kind of blends in. So yeah.
And I don't have any comments for you as far as but on the forums, you can introduce yourself in the introduction section, and I mentioned maybe that you're going in or something along those lines, and we'll get you in touch with Central Texas. And when I was in college, I was in college in Arkansas, but based in College Station. So I did several things. There are business cards back there too. So yeah, those will have a QR code that'll take you to our forums, and there's an introduction board. And so you say something along the lines of, who you are and where you're based, and we can point you to the correct clan and get you contacted with clan leadership and stuff like that.
You can tell us that, hey, I went to your panel at Robertson and stuff like that. We'll get you where you need to go.
And in your particular case where you're still, I'm guessing, hopping back and forth, doing my part of the gig, I'm great working with their, my opposite number and theirs. And that way, whether you're home or whether you're there, we've got you on the same sheet of music. We can get you towards what you want. So, yeah, and that, I like working with other clans. It's cool, so come on.
Are you starting this fall?
So you completely drank the Kool-Aid, you're gonna have the.
We actually have an Aggie Mando. She's not a kid today, but she was in K yesterday. She's got the full maroon and everything.
My kid's an Aggie, so I'm used to it.
We have College Station Comic Con on September 13th and 14th, if you've heard of that. With us, and we can get you a pass for that to come and meet us and see how it works. So.
Anybody else?
Any other questions?
Our Jedis? No?
I don't know what we're doing on time.
11:45. So,
Cool.
but
Glad.
if there are no questions, we can wrap.
Yeah, if you don't have any other questions, we got our booth back in the back corner. We're right there next to the 501st and all that stuff. Feel free to come up, take photos with us, ask more questions. We got business cards, we got trading cards, got cool props over there. So.
If you want to look at any of the examples up close,
Feel free,
to
yeah,
go
you can
there.
come up and take a look at them.
And I have business cards, so come to me if you would like one.
Business cards in the back.
If you have a question privately that you want to ask me, are all